Jean, it's so good to see you. And I am so excited today because I want to talk about signs and synchronicities. We go through life, all of us, and there's these things that pop, that get our attention, that are like coincidences that show up, that we know that they seem so casual, but they have such meaning. And I'm excited to kind of share what's coming through from the other side, because you and I both get messages from so many on the other side about it, but also to delve into things that you have been finding and seeing, and that are just full of wonder. And actually, you can actually connect it to deep meanings for this life and also for past lives. So, just opening up kind of, what are signs and synchronicities? There's things that are coincidences, things that happen. And one of the things that I'm hearing from the angels, that I'm hearing from, is that they are to get our attention, and that they are to align us with where our path is to go. It's almost like a good nudge, right? It's something that fills us with wonder and delight, and it catches our attention, and it makes us really go with curiosity to say, why is this showing up?
Barrett, thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be here today with you on your podcast. I am just delighted and on a subject that's so dear to my heart. Yes.
And I know these things keep showing up. So what they're saying on the other side is, which I'm excited to talk about, is really how to get in sync with our synchronicities. So let's talk a little bit first about, like, what are some of these synchronicities? What are some of these things that show up? And how is that informing us along our own path, our own, leading us to open more fully to our who we each are, the fullness of who we are. And also, it really starts to inform us about our own intuitive gifts. We all have gifts to connect. And sometimes those synchronicities, those signs, are helping us to get back fully on our path for what we are to know, what we are to open up to, that is so full of wonder and delight. And I know that you've been receiving, I think one of the most profound ones is all these shiny pennies, but it's not just the penny, but it's the year.
Yes, yes. And Barrett, I'd like to just preface it by saying that walking through this labyrinth of life, we're always guided and have divine support. And we're always being communicated with in so many ways from the angelic realm. And I think it's up to us to pay attention, be alert, be mindful, and watchful. And to know what's so reassuring to me is that we're never alone. And divine guidance will reveal what we really need to know at the right time. And I know this to be true because for me, I've received messages and dreams, visions,
Mhm.
nudges, hunches, the coins, feathers, and even messages from the birds as
Right.
well. So
You're
this it makes life easier for me in terms of the inspiration, the wisdom, the clarity. But we have to trust, ask, believe, and receive. And for me, it helps me go through life in a natural flow with the universe with grace, peace, and ease. So that's kind of the long and short of it in terms of what it does for me and for people out there to pay attention, because whether it's a song, a sign, I've seen signs on billboards, car tags. I remember one day I was driving, I was behind a car and it said, expect a miracle
mm,
on the person's tag. And then one time when I was going through a hard time, uh, the car in front of me had the tag, have faith.
mm, mm.
And I was like, gosh, and it shifted my whole mood at
I
that
love
time.
that. I love that because you've given so many different examples of where it comes from. It's not just singular, it can come, and I love that it can come through our dreams because our minds are not blocking it. It's not things that anything can happen in a dream, right? So we're not kind of saying, oh, our mind gets taken offline so that we're not blocking it to say, oh, this can't really be, right? It can come into our dreams, but they can come from nature, can come from the birds. I hear from so many people that they have seen a bird that was so unusual, usually after a dear one had passed, and they just feel the connection with this bird. They feel that this is that they're witnessing really their loved ones saying, I'm here, I love you, you're not alone. So you're so right in all that you've described, from songs, from billboards, from birds. There's so many places. The universe is such a master. It just delights us because it can pull on everything. For me, I get things on my computer, like things that will show up.
Yes.
I did a reading for someone a while ago, and this certain disease kept coming up, and I was sending a message back with information, and it just kept popping up, and so I sent it, and the person said, "Oh my gosh, that is how they passed, and I would never have come up with this disease." So there's so many ways that this universe and it's the magic of it all can come and give us information, that can come and give us messages. And they are, like you said so beautifully, they're saying, we are here, we love you, we are working with you. We know, Jean, as you and I know, we have legions of angels working with us all the time, but we only need ask. We only need to invite them in and to ask, and those energies align with things. And then we start seeing things, and then we start seeing more and more. Like you, I know, have seen with your coins again, it's not just a one time, it's multiple times.
Yes, and one of the things I like to just make a point about is that when we talk about messages coming in dreams, and you and Beth shared information about Spencer when you were on my radio show, Love Light. And I remember before he passed away, about a month before he passed away, I had a vision of him running in heaven when I was asleep. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a young pup just running at high speed with his fur back. And I was like, gosh, he's getting ready to pass. And I also saw my grandmother transition. So dreams, and even though it was kind of disconcerting, it what can I say? The irony of it, it was disconcerting yet comforting, because it enabled me to prepare for her death, and as well as for Spencer. So how we use that information and not be taken off course, because it comes for a reason.
Right. And it comes with such love. There's a gentleness and a love. And it is sort of a preparation for things that can come, and a knowingness, and also being able to tap into that the unseen energies. We go into our dreams, there's such amazing energy and information. And then we can see it also with things that we see that show up on our path in the life, with somebody who crosses our path and says something that really resonates. I always say it's almost like a big punctuation mark. There's a punctuation, so that there's energy there. And then we kind of delve into it with kind of curiosity, or go and say, what is the meaning of this? Why am I seeing this? Because we know it's getting our attention, and then we're almost like detectives trying to open up that energy like a present to, how is this to help me? How is this to guide me? What is the meaning of this? And if nothing else, you can laugh, and it's a delightful thing, right? There's so many things that just make us laugh, which that in itself raises our energy. I mean, there's nothing like laughter to raise your vibration with joy. But many times these are information to prepare us, as you said, but also information to lead us even more fully into who we've always been.
And as you indicated, it really is a gift, because I know, and I do this quite a bit, and people can put this to the test. I had an impending decision to make, and I didn't know what to do. And I put it in spirit, and I asked the angels and guides for support, and I kind of left it alone. And then one morning when I woke up, it was crystal clear. The message was
Mm.
crystal clear. And so when we put it to the test, ask, believe, receive, and be
Mhm.
open.
Mhm.
And to me, it alleviates a lot of angst and worry when
Mhm.
you can, put it into spirit, share it, ask for what you need, and I can rest assured it will be granted
Mhm.
in due time.
Well, every ask is answered, as we know, right? And that's
Yeah.
really true. I mean, we have a free will, right? And so we have to ask and invite that in. And I'm feeling the energies of people here right now. I'm feeling so many angels here. And they're sharing again to open up, to open our hearts, to invite, whatever's on our heart, whatever, like you were sharing, you had an impending decision to make, whatever is on our heart that was our mind or whatever that we are seeking some kind of guidance on, just to put that out. We don't even have to say it out loud, but we can say it in our heads, or we can say it in a prayer, or we can say it, when we're out for a walk, but we put that energy out with an ask. And then we are to just be aware. I always used to say, it was like or, like an OAR, right? Like, you were rowing down the river of life, and I guess we're out of order, but we're observing, right? We observe what we're seeking. We put out the ask, the A. We're asking, and then we are being answered. And it may not look like how we think it's going to be. We have to kind of release the outcome, but to be aware and to be awake to things that get our attention, whether a song comes on, something that has a high energy that when we sift through life, we can feel the gravity of it. There's something there. There's a there. So when we do that, we're observing O, we're asking A, we're receiving R, of course, with great gratitude for however it's to show up with no expectation. And it allows us to kind of paddle our way through the river of life to receive. And so when we observe it and we affirm it, we actually are building that muscle, and we're going to see even more. So once a coincidence happens, it's not a coincidence that will lead to further synchronicities, further signs that will follow,
And
because
I
it's
think
just expanded.
and I think we have to trust it, because I could have second guessed, oh, well, no, where did that come from? And went ahead and not followed through with the decision that I was given. But
Mhm.
I think we have to be consciously aware that, you know, I didn't just dream this. This message came crystal clear,
Mhm.
and I have to follow through. Maybe I would have wanted to do something opposite, but I trusted, no, this is what you need to do. It's going to save you disappointment, angst, energy, time, whatever. And I trusted, and I followed through, and I let it go. And I said, as you indicated, thank you.
And when
Thank
you followed
you.
through and you let it go, did it, and then
Uh,
how did that unfold for you?
it unfolded perfectly because the angels were already nudging me in
Mm.
the direction to move.
Mhm.
And in fact, I got like an audible message that said, "Well, we have already given you the direction." It's like that, because
Mhm.
things were coming up, and I'm like, "Gosh, it's so related," but nah, maybe not. So I was being nudged anyway to that decision. But then when I just let go and say, okay, I don't know what to do, I trust the inspiration and guidance, and then I let it go. And then that's when it came crystal clear. But the message was that we had already kind of told you what to do anyway.
And we'll never miss it. I want to just tell people, you never miss it. So even if we think, okay, I must have missed that clue, it's certainly circle back again to give us additional information. Like we can't miss anything, even if we miss the exit, there will be another exit, so to speak. But I love what you shared, Jean, about letting go. I have people here that just joined in on our call from the other side, and they're sharing, again, affirming so beautifully what you just spoke about letting go. We hear let go and let God, or let go and ask your higher self, or whatever. It doesn't matter however you get there, but it's surrendering and allowing it to come into your path, for those energies to align. So what's really happening, this is what I'm hearing. So what they're sharing with me is, yes, either, let go, let God, but essentially, um, uh, making yourself almost vulnerable, and not in a weakness stance, but in an allowing that you're not tipping what the outcome is. You're not projecting what the outcome is. You're just allowing it to unfold, and ask in the highest way, what is to unfold in the highest way? So they're sharing to first allow that. And then what happens is that allows the highest energy, with the angels and the universe and all the magic and wonder that really comes, that loves you, each of us. They love us to bits, beyond measure. That allows that energy to come in, and that energy aligns with our desires. So we have desires, we have wants. They want us they want to fulfill what we want in the highest way. But when we allow what you're saying, letting go, when we allow that, it allows the angel energy to align with our highest desire. And that is where we can manifest from, because those two are coming together. And that is so much beyond us. We are so much more than just this physical body, as we know, right? We're a soul with a body, and it's miraculous. It's amazing. It's a creative force, a life force. And we have this abundance and this flow of source energy that is always flowing to us in different ways. But when that marries up together, magic happens.
I love that beautiful explanation, and thanks to the angels, thanks to you for allowing that to come through, because that is so true. If we just trust and wait and pay attention, we're always being communicated with, always. And if we talk about the analogy of the labyrinth, it's like walking the labyrinth. Even when I take walks around the lake, when I want to have that quiet time to rejuvenate, and it's like you can just feel it and witness that connection. And I think we have to find those nice spaces, that quiet time where you can be open to receive, even though messages are coming all the time. But it's like I have to just really appreciate the guidance there, the angelic realm, the messages, and during those walks, being grateful and just with so much gratitude, being thankful for what all I've been given, and looking forward to more guidance. Can I quote I had found a quote by Buddha that
I
I want.
love that. Yes.
He says, if you are quiet enough, you will hear the flow of the universe. You will feel the rhythm. Go with the flow. Happiness lies ahead. Meditation is the key. So whether it's a walking meditation or sitting, like I created a meditation garden, finding those quiet places where you can pay homage to the angelic realm and be grateful and open your heart to be able to receive. That's so important, because there's so many distractions in the busyness of life, right?
So many. And I think we can get so sidetracked with what we see in the physicality of life. What is outpictured? We turn on the news, or just in our going about our daily life, and not that we don't have things to do, and not that there's things happening, but what you're speaking to so beautifully, and I love that Buddha quote, it is going within. we have so much guidance within us. We have our like our inner GPS system that's guiding us. And so when we connect and we sync in with that, we are connecting with this abundance of intelligence, abundance of love, abundance of possibilities that are always flowing. And we can get clearer on it. There's some clarity that comes when we are quiet, when we sort of filter out all the noise, right? Or the stories that we're told, or the
Mhm.
our patterns and beliefs and things that are always can be very disruptive. And then we're trying to figure out our balance in life, right? And how to move forward. But when we can go within and be quiet and to listen and to ask, we are connecting with that pure source that is always flowing with love, with the highest guidance, and really with amazing wonder, because what unfolds is beyond what we could in our personality self really envision. It's so much more.
And I think also, for me personally, receiving those concrete coins, shiny coins in my home, on my path, uh, I'm like, gosh, this came from heaven. And I revere the coins and the feathers, because I'm like, I didn't put them there. And
Right.
I received like 3 feathers just last week, and then the penny, another shiny penny. I always send them to you
I love
because
that.
I get so excited about it, and it brings joy to my heart, because it's like, thank you, Angelic Ram. I really appreciate this. Thank you for your validation. Thank you for acknowledging me, and whatever the message is behind all these coins. And you've helped
Right.
me try to decipher that, but it brings me so much joy to
And
receive.
isn't that the essence? Pennies from heaven. Isn't that the essence? It's joy. We are
Yeah.
joy. We are meant to focus on joy. The more that we are giving our attention, our energy, our laughter, our wonder, our gratitude, our feeling of that joy, it absolutely grows that joy. And more, not only for us, but actually for everyone. We are all so connected, and where we're putting our attention, our energy goes, but we are actually also affirming it and growing it. And that joy is so powerful, so powerful.
And one of the things that you've talked about, and that many people are concerned about now, is manifestation. How can I manifest? How I want a better life? And, some of them are going about it the wrong way. And as you indicated, when you stay in the high vibration of love and joy and happiness and in peace, you attract more of that.
Mhm.
Be what you want to attract. It's
Mhm.
not an outside thing. It's how you are. So it's like, if you're in that joy, you radiate that and you bring joy back. So manifestation can be quite simple. On
Right,
one hand, I guess I say that because I see the evidence, and it's like, gosh, it makes me feel joyful, and I experience more joy. So
right,
it's kind
right.
of all relative, right?
And it sustains and carries us, because life,
Mhm.
it has its ups and downs, and each of us are on our own soul journey, and it's beautiful and it's perfect for each of us, and we're each having different soul lessons, whether we're conscious about it or unconscious. But what it's doing is helping to guide us along, to open us to more different experiences, and those experiences can make us realize, oh my gosh, I'm actually stronger than I thought I was going to be, or gives us an expansive view of possibly, why am I here, right? People ask so often, like, what is my purpose? And we are creators. We're creating with our thoughts, our actions, our words, but we're creating what we are seeing out pictured. But it's helping us to say, who am I really? Who am I? And it's that we are joy, we are love, but it's also we are so many other things. And it's to live fully in that human experience, because it comes back down to, even in the hardest times, comes back to that compassion, that joy and the compassion for ourselves and for one another on this life journey.
Yes, very well said, because many are just looking for that outside. How can someone love me, or I find that joy from the out, but it really is inside. And who said we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Mhm.
So when we look at it from that aspect, it's like, gosh, I have this soul connection to the universe and all that is. And that's why you can appreciate the messengers, the birds, the signs, the synchronicities, because it's information for us that can help us on our path forward. And at mornings, my prayer is, bring forth all that is good and right for me, people, and even though there's challenging situations that come as well, and I'm like, okay, what is it that I need to do to learn? Maybe I need more patience, more compassion. So everything that comes for a reason.
Totally, for a reason. And to give ourselves compassion, to give ourselves love, because it's not always easy, and things come and they challenge us. And isn't that, yes, that is a soul lesson. If it's on our path, there is something to be gleaned from it. But to go with knowing that we are always loved. No matter what happens, we're always loved. We're always whole. We're always worthy. So if those three things are non-negotiable, they're always in place, then we can go forward to deal with a challenging situation. And it puts us in a different perspective. It gives us a different vantage point from which to see it. And it gives ourselves even more love and compassion in which to navigate those challenges.
So true. And really, Barrett, it's all about love. Everything that happens to us or within us is to bring us home to our true self, that our natural state of being that gets lost in the shuffle of patterns and beliefs and fears and deep condition beliefs about unworthiness and I'm unlovable or unloving or whatever. And we play that out in terms of our themes in life. But everything, whether perceived good or bad or whatever, is all to bring us back to love.
Mm-hmm. You remind me so beautifully, Beth, that she had a conversation with an animal, with a cow, in our book, Conversations with Animals, which is the channel Conversations. And the cow, one of the profound quotes, the cow was speaking about hope. I mean, it's a beautiful book from the animals, from the souls of animals, talking about healing. And the cow was sharing that, that love is the end game and hope is how we get there.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Love is the end game and hope is how we get there.
Mm-hmm.
Very beautiful.
So it all comes down to,
Because we need that hope. We need hope, especially in the midst of what all we're experiencing now in this age of untruth and, just looking for love in all the wrong places and
Mhm,
getting sidetracked. So beautifully said,
mhm.
that hope. But love is the answer.
Love is the answer, and to give everyone, to give themselves abundance of love, and hold themselves in love, even if they feel not loved, to just hold themselves in that space, and to know that there are so many around, and to ask, how can I feel that more? And this is again where these signs and synchronicities, like you were saying, it just fills with joy and delight, these beautiful white feathers that appear out of nowhere, that has such a meaning. And it's just a beautiful, a friend used to call them God winks, but it's just a synchronicity, right? That's saying, like, I'm gonna shower you with something that will absolutely delight you, that will make your heart sing, that will warm you and sustain you and um, surround you, especially at any day, but sometimes in the most difficult times, it just draws us back to, we are so much more than just us. We are never alone. We are connected at the most beautiful place, because we're connected to our own divinity, each of us. And so we are not separate. and we are not alone. And I think that is something that is a beautiful message that is such truth for it's always been, but particularly for people today to know that they are so loved, they are cherished, they are not alone. And just to go out and ask like you did, like, ask, may it be the highest way, show me something, ask for it, Beth and I used to talk about, just, in your mind, you don't even have to tell anybody, say, okay, if I see this today, or if this happens, I used to say, if I saw woodpeckers, that I would know that there's spiritual connection. And I spend my time, as you know, Jean, between Tucson and New Jersey, and there's woodpeckers everywhere. I have one on the roof every morning here down in Tucson. But sort of play, it's kind of a game, right? And we don't necessarily have to believe it, right? Although they say, what is the Wayne Dyer, that's his beautiful quote, if you believe it, you see it, right? So, but just, put it out there, just and see what happens, because it will leave you in wonder. It will leave you, it will just make you laugh. And then it just is affirming, because they are listening. You have so much love listening to you always, with you always, every one of us, 24/7. And we put something out there, we will be delighted with what shows up. And I remember a story from Beth, and I would talk about this too, that she asked for blue jays, right? And it was but you think, okay, a blue jay, the bird, and so forth. Well, she ended up sitting down that night to with her husband and watch a baseball game, and who were playing but the Blue Jays. So you never know how they're going to show up, right? It's not how necessarily the way that we expect to see something. So we have to kind of really just be open to how it's coming through. And again, it's just affirming that we're here, we love you, you are not alone, you have so much support. You need only ask. No, they're not going to overstep anything, so we have to invite them in, ask, for the highest, and we don't have to know specifically even what we're asking for, but we just ask for the highest to unfold.
It's truly answered prayer. And I know, like, if there's a day that I'm out of sorts or whatever, or feel like I have to, make a particular decision or choice or whatever, we have those days. Then I look at my coins and I look at my feathers. That's so reassuring. And it's like, okay, I'm okay now. So when you can go back and look at those signs and synchronicities and know that you are not alone, you are being seen and you are being heard, that it can bring you so much joy and blessed assurance.
Mm-hmm. And isn't that the way to move forward in life? Isn't that the way to honor the truth of each of us, and to go with curiosity, to go with wonder, to know that there's nothing more than the universe wanting to adore and cherish and delight and guide and open, and to welcome in all that can be possible, and the signs and synchronicities, and to sync up, with your own energy for all that you're hoping for, all that you're desiring, to let that unfold, and without an outcome, without expectation, and to go with great gratitude, and then watch the magic unfold.
And it's so much magic there. Like you say, the curiosity, the wonder, when you have these signs and see the signs and synchronicities and pay attention, it builds that trust.
It builds a trust.
It builds that trust, unwavering trust.
So this has been a beautiful discussion. Jean, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who are listening. Jean and I send out our love, and may you go in wonder today. May you ask for the highest to unfold in the most amazing ways. And then, as Jean said so beautifully, you watch, observe, and you will be delighted, because you are so loved and you are worthy.
Indeed.
Thank you. Love to everyone.
Yes, love to everyone. And thank you, Berit, for all that you do and for the guidance from the angelic realm and for Beth, who's always there. Thank you so much for your divine mission and your service.
And for all of us, we're such gifts to one another. Always a joy to see you, Jean. Always fun to chat with you.
Same here. And thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome.